You're listening to the Broken Havoc podcast on YouTube, where we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and as the frickin' referee would say, ring that damn bell for more notifications.
What's up, everybody? It is Broken Havoc here, right here on the Broken Havoc podcast, here to review AEW Dynamite from May 4th, 2022. Overall thoughts on this show. I enjoyed what I watched on the show. Overall, I thought it was a good show. If you would compare it to other episodes of Dynamite, though, really, this episode of Dynamite is not really up to par. Let's be 100% honest. We had two Owen Hart qualifying matches. We had Bobby Fish versus Jeff Hardy, and we also had, in my eyes, the match of the night, Rey Fenix going one-on-one against Dante Martin. The Blackpool Combat Club is in action. We had the main event being Deonna Purrazzo and Mercades Martinez fighting for the undisputed Ring of Honor Women's Championship. In my opinion, that match under-delivered. It was not really that good of a match, to be quite honest with you, and the crowd was completely dead during that match. I'm going to be strictly honest right here. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode of Dynamite for what it was. Of course, Hangman Page also cuts a heelish-like promo, but does he really turn heel? No, he does not turn heel. I'm going to explain why right here on the podcast. But before I get on with the AEW Dynamite review, make sure to like and subscribe to the Broken Havoc podcast right here on YouTube, in which we discuss everything in and outside of the squared circle. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content, and as the Broken Referee would say, ring that damn bell for more notifications. Also, the Broken Havoc podcast is now available on audio platforms. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and Google Podcasts. So if you guys want to check out the Broken Havoc podcast in audio format, it's available on those platforms. All right, let's talk about Dynamite. Dynamite started off with the qualifying match for the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. Overall thoughts on Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish. Overall, I thought it was it was not a pretty good match, actually. It was an all right match. Jeff Hardy in this match looked really slow in the match. I'm going to be honest. He looked really slow, but he did get the win. And speaking of the Owen Hart Tournament, before I even get on with the match between Bobby Fish and Jeff Hardy, we finally got the brackets for the Owen Hart Tournament, which, by the way, it's an 8-man tournament, but I believe the brackets are looking absolutely stacked, and literally, in my opinion, in my eyes at least, the possibilities are endless on who might win this tournament and where I see the tournament going forward in the next couple years, and what the winner is basically going to have besides the trophy after this tournament is over. But I'm going to be talking about Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish. Overall, Jeff Hardy looked pretty slow in this match. I mean, he has for the past couple of weeks on Dynamite. I believe that he is in pain, in my opinion. I feel like, due to his style, I believe like he's really been risking his body a lot. I mean, but we'll have to wait and see. But Jeff Hardy looked really slow in this match, so he really was trying to slow himself up during this match. But Fish goes for a dragon screw. We get a sliding lariat by Bobby Fish. Goes for a boot. We get a couple of body shots in the corner on Jeff Hardy. Fish misses a senton over the top rope when Hardy escapes, and then Hardy goes to the outside. Then after that, Bobby Fish hits a dragon screw on Jeff on the outside. Then after that, we go to commercial break. Once we're back from break, Fish was all over Hardy during the commercial break. Hardy then tries to fight back. Hardy then tries to take Fish down with a jawbreaker, but then Fish hits a knee. Hardy then manages to hit a jawbreaker. We get a kick by Fish. Then we get a second kick by Hardy. Hardy then fights back with a couple of chops and back elbows. We get a shoulder tackle by Hardy. Then Hardy is in control over Fish. We get a cover and a near fall. Then Hardy goes to the top, but then Fish hits a kick. We get a right hand by Fish. Fish then hits an avalanche. Yes, he hits an avalanche Falcon Arrow, which looked. I mean, every time Bobby Fish does the avalanche Falcon Arrow, it looks amazing. But he hits the avalanche Falcon Arrow. We get a cover by Fish and a near fall, but then Fish holds on to the knee of Jeff. Then Jeff goes to the ropes. Jeff goes to the top, but then he gets, he takes down Fish off the top, but then goes back up top and hits a Swanton Bomb. He hits a Swanton, and we get a cover, and Jeff Hardy advances and qualifies for the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. Again, it was a hot opener? Absolutely not. The crowd was definitely behind Hardy during this match, and by the way, Adam Cole was also on commentary. who did qualify in this match, same as Kyle O'Reilly, of course, members of the Undisputed Elite. But again, the crowd were behind Jeff Hardy, but again, Jeff Hardy did look really slow in this match. Was it the best match in the world? No, it wasn't. But got the job done, and Jeff Hardy will advance. Well, not I wouldn't necessarily say advance, but also he qualifies in the tournament, and he will be facing, as part of the first round, he will be facing Darby Allin. So that is a matchup that I'm definitely excited for after that. But after that, we got the Young Bucks coming out, and they face off with the Hardy Boys. Both Matt and Jeff and Matt and Nick face off. So they all face off, teasing a future match with the Young Bucks. Hopefully it's going to be at Double or Nothing. I think that match is going to be amazing. Because, yes, the Young Bucks and the Hardy Boys did face off before, back in Ring of Honor, when the Broken Hardys were like the hottest thing in wrestling. But, now in AEW, I think it's going to be, I don't want to say even better, but I think it's definitely going to be a great match to happen at Double or Nothing, in my opinion. I mean, we've seen the match before, but I'm definitely excited to see it in AEW. So they definitely teased the match right there. We get a video package of the Blackpool Combat Club, in which it was an edited version that was cut short of a video package of the Blackpool Combat Club with William Regal, Bryan Danielson, and Jon Moxley basically beating the shit out of Wheeler Yuta and basically training him to become, a much better wrestler. I'm not going to lie, man. This was a fantastic video package. I really loved, the way the camera shots are, the cinematography of it all, and just the look of that ending with William Regal in the center and then Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson just having that really pissed off look in their faces. I love that look, and William Regal is fantastic when it comes to promos, man. If you really want a wrestler to tell a story, William Regal is definitely that guy to tell a story. I mean, William Regal is absolutely fantastic. But the Blackpool Combat Club, definitely one of my favorite things about AEW right now. Besides CM Punk, I'm absolutely loving the Blackpool Combat Club. They're just absolutely fantastic. And the fact that Wheeler Yuta is part of the faction, or I wouldn't necessarily say faction, but trio, it's amazing mainly because of the fact that they're building a new star out of Wheeler Yuta, and Wheeler Yuta is extremely over with the audience. Speaking of the Blackpool Combat Club, the trend continues, just like for the past 2 weeks or the past 3 weeks on Dynamite, and I believe on Rampage as well. The Blackpool Combat Club face a trio of wrestlers. So this week they're facing the Butcher, the Blade, and Angelico, which overall this was a great match. I definitely enjoyed it. Of course, the Blackpool Combat Club got the win. 100% it made total sense for them to get the win, but they're trying to soften them up before we get actual legitimate opponents in the near future. But, this is trying to stack up some wins for the Blackpool Combat Club, and honestly, man, they definitely showed their strengths as always, as they always do every week whenever they wrestle on Dynamite. Butcher immediately goes for the attack on Moxley. Blade works on Danielson. We get a couple of chops and rights by Blade. We get a clothesline by Blade. Angelico then tags in. We get a roll-up by Danielson. Then Danielson hits the S-kicks onto the chest of Angelico after that. We get a couple of chops and kicks by Danielson. Then we get a running kick by Danielson. Yuta then makes the tag, in which he gets a huge pop from the crowd. We get a couple of chops and rights by Yuta. We get a left hand by Angelico after that. Blade then makes the tag. Wheeler Yuta then hits a drop kick and then goes for an arm drag. He hits a stomp onto the arm of Blade. Then he hits a drop kick on Blade after that. But then Butcher, he hits a drop kick on Butcher, my apologies. But Butcher no sells, but then Yuta proceeds to fight off Angelico. Butcher then hits the lower cross body once we're back from commercial break. Yuta then tries to make the tag, but then Butcher pulls him back. Yuta then goes for a German suplex. At this point, the hot tag is made. Moxley then makes the tag. He was the one that made the tag during the hot tag. He takes out Blade on the outside. He sends Blade over the timekeeper's area. Throws him around. He sends Blade into the steel steps. He takes Blade back in the ring, but then Blade goes for a kick. Moxie then fires back with a beautiful cutter, and then Butcher grabs Mox, but then Mox bites Butcher after that. At this point, Angelico is the legal man. Then he hits a roundhouse kick, but then Mox hits a lariat. Then Danielson makes the tag. He hits a shotgun dropkick off of the top rope. Then after that, or I should say the top turnbuckle. Then after that, all members of the BCC take their opponents and beat the living crap out of them, or I should say kick their head in. And then, while they were doing that, the crowd was chanting, yes, yes, yes. So that was absolutely fantastic, man. Every time when the Blackpool Combat Club do that triple beatdown, bro, the crowd, every AEW crowd, please do the yes chants. I absolutely pray that you guys do that because it was fantastic. And then Danielson applies the triangle sleeper for the win. The BCC beat Angelico and the Butcher and the Blade. Overall, great match. Of course, the Blackpool Combat Club won. It's made to make them look strong, and 100% they're definitely on a roll. Where do I see the Blackpool Combat Club going in the near future? Of course, Wheeler Yuta is the current Ring of Honor pure champion. Not only that, could we see Danielson and Moxley winning the tag team championships? Who knows? But really, since the Blackpool Combat Club is a trio, and we got House of Black being a trio, it's only fitting, man. We need to get those trios titles already. Like, I've been waiting so long for those trios titles. When are we getting the trios titles? Please, Tony Khan, introduce trios titles at Double or Nothing, please. But overall, this was a great match, and the Blackpool Combat Club looked absolutely amazing. Powerhouse Hobbs and the FTW champion Ricky Starks are backstage. Jurassic Express come in. They challenge, that being Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks, they challenge Jurassic Express for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. But before that, Jungle Boy challenges Ricky Starks for the FTW Championship. So, that's pretty interesting to see. I would love to see a match between Jungle Boy and Ricky Starks for the FTW Championship. Is Jungle Boy going to win the FTW Championship? Let's be 100% honest. No, I feel like the guy to take the belt off of Ricky Starks is a guy like Hook. Mainly because it makes sense. But, definitely having Jungle Boy face Ricky Starks, that's going to be a banger of a match. I don't think they wrestled before, but, that's going to be a 100% banger of a match. And definitely the tag team matches out between both Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks taking on Jurassic Express. That match itself will be really good. Do I think Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks are going to win the AEW World Tag Team Championships? No, 100% that honor is going to FTR. Maybe we're going to have FTR versus Jurassic Express for the AEW, maybe in a unification match for both the AAA, Ring of Honor, and AEW Tag Team Championships, in which, we got Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler winning the AEW World Tag Team Championships, and they're triple tag team champions. We do not know, but really, the time I feel like right now it's the right time to take the belts off of Jurassic Express. The main reason is because of the fact that, I did question the fact that Jungle Boy, lost the qualifier against Kyle O'Reilly. I thought that was really questionable in my opinion. But after last week, I believe it was last week in which, Christian Cage told Jungle Boy that he looked like a loser. Definitely, we are seeing these heelish tactics by Christian Cage, and he's really starting to go towards that heelish side. So maybe, Christian is possibly going to turn heel. And if he turns heel, please give it to me. I would love to see a feud between both Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. 100%. But we'll have to wait and see. All right. Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee are backstage. They talk about Team Taz and how they have unfinished business. And, Swerve judges. I shouldn't really say judges, but talks about Team Taz wanting a tag team title shot. He gets it. They're in the top 5, but they have unfinished business with both Keith Lee and himself. Then, after that, Lee states that he will ensure that they will swerve in their glory, which was a great line by the one and only Keith Lee. Wardlow versus his mystery opponent. The trend is happening once again. Wardlow comes out with no music, which I love, by the way. And then MJF says that he would love to say, it's great to be back in Maryland, but he would be a lying piece of shit. And then says that he will win the match in the back. He will watch the match in the back. And then the man that he is going to be facing in the ring is a man with 7 feet of power. And his opponent is W Morrissey, the former Big Cass in WWE. Of course, they were a part of the tag team known as Enzo and Cass, which I definitely enjoyed. But, over time, when Enzo won the Cruiserweight Championship, everybody was, pissed off about it. I remember that fondly. But we got Wardlow versus W Morrissey. Is this a signing? No, it's not. I think this is definitely a one-off. A lot of people on social media, man, are talking about how, Impact Wrestling was buried, mainly because they brought in W Morrissey and, Deonna Purrazzo, and they both lost. Honestly, is that really your main problem of concerns? Let's be honest. Bro, AEW gave Kenny Omega, the Impact Championship. And not only that, they gave you guys Christian Cage. Now, granted, I heard a lot of great things about Impact Wrestling. I'm actually planning on watching Impact Wrestling tonight. Do I plan on reviewing it in the near future? No. Maybe in the near future if I continue to get invested. But I heard a lot of great things about Impact Wrestling, so I'm going to be watching it tonight. W Morrissey is part of Impact. Deonna Purrazzo is part of Impact. I don't know why people are complaining that they both lost. It made total sense that they lost. First off, W Morrissey is going up against Wardlow. it made total sense for Morrissey to put Wardlow over, mainly because of the fact that it's part of the storyline that they're telling. And Deonna Purrazzo, it made total sense because she's not signed to AEW and Mercades Martinez is. So Mercades Martinez, the Undisputed Ring of Honor Women's Champion. We'll talk about that later on. But we got Wardlow versus W Morrissey. The match was pretty good for what it was. There was like one small portion of the match where the crowd was kind of quiet, but like for the majority of the match, the crowd was definitely into it. And in my opinion, I felt like the highlight of this match was definitely the crowd. 100%. I definitely feel like it was the crowd. I mean, at one point in the match, we got literally a chant of half and half. We want Enzo, no we don't chants. You'll have to see it, right? But we get some how you doing chants by the crowd, so that's a little nod to Enzo Amore. How you doing? Couple of haters. So both lock up. Wardlow takes Morrissey into the corner. We get a kick by Morrissey. We get a couple of shots to the back on Wardlow. Morrissey then goes for a splash into the corner. Wardlow then comes back and then goes after W Morrissey. Morrissey then goes for a leapfrog and hits a big boot. Then clotheslines Wardlow onto the outside. Both are on the outside. Again, we got those we want Enzo, no we don't chants, which was definitely one of the highlights of the entire match. Wardlow then manhandles him headfirst onto the apron. Wardlow then fights back. Morrissey then hits the Boss Man Slam. Loading onto the big Boss Man right there. Then Morrissey takes Wardlow to the top. Then we get a couple of back elbows by Wardlow. Then Wardlow hits a moonsault and Wardlow lands on his feet. So like one of the biggest things, one of the best things I love about Wardlow is the fact that, he's a big guy, but, he can do cruiserweight like moves. I mean, like this guy did a freaking Hurricane Rana last week, or I believe it was 2 weeks ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, in the matches that he had. And he's doing a freaking moonsault here and he lands on his damn feet. I mean, you got a guy like Keith Lee doing that type of stuff, but like Wardlow, holy shit. So he lands on his feet. We thought that he was going to hit multiple powerbombs, that being the Powerbomb Symphony, but no, he actually ends the match with one powerbomb. Yes, he hits one powerbomb on W Morrissey, 1, 2, 3, and Wardlow gets the win. So then after that, MJF and Shawn Spears, who were watching the match from the back, they come out and they bring in security. And then actually, no, that actually happened later. So what happened was, the security guards were trying to handcuff Wardlow, but instead Wardlow attacked them. Then MJF and Shawn Spears brought in more security to fight them off. And then, of course, as always, security always just 100% fails. And then after that, he takes them crowd and he takes them out, and then the crowd goes nuts. He throws one of the security guards all the way to the outside. Then Wardlow says he wants to get out of his contract and says that it's not going to stop until he gets out of he makes him get out of his contract. And then MJF asks Wardlow if he had a little match, and if he won, he can get released from his contract. But he has a couple of conditions. And you had Jim Ross on commentary. I loved this. After MJF stated that he had a couple of conditions, Jim Ross was like, doesn't he always have conditions? Because we constantly see, we saw it with the Cody feud, we saw it with the labors of Jericho, and now it's going on with Wardlow. So I love how Jim Ross stated that. And then MJF stated he has a couple of conditions. He will give those conditions in a contract signing, but it will not happen in a dumpster fire like Maryland. It will be happening in one of the greatest cities in the world, Long Island, which is the home turf of MJF. If you guys do not remember, the last time AEW was in Long Island, MJF was freaking praised to the moon. Yes, MJF was praised to the moon. Are we going to be seeing the same thing next week, considering the fact that Wardlow is super over right now? I think so. I mean, we're definitely going to be getting those Wardlow chants definitely in Long Island next week. But, bro, 100%, man, MJF is going to get a freaking godlike reaction from everybody in Long Island, mainly because of the fact that it is his hometown. We saw it before, and we will see it again. I'm definitely looking forward to that. All right. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Ruby Soho and Toni Storm. Basically, Ruby threatens her and says that they're going nowhere, considering the fact that they have somewhat of a restriction on beating one another. I didn't really pay attention to the segment, to be quite honest with you. But they're Ruby Soho, I believe she's part of the tournament. Toni Storm and is going to be a part of the tournament as well, because there is a women's Owen Hart tournament as well. So I got to look more into that. I really wasn't paying attention to the brackets for the tournament and the qualifying matches, to be quite honest with you. I did review them, but let's be honest. I was more interested in the men's tournament, but I have to look really deeper into the women's tournament because I really have no, I don't want to say interest, but I'm just not really feeling the excitement as I am for the men's, but that's not to say we're possibly going to be getting fantastic matches because, for the past couple of weeks on Dynamite, we have been seeing backstage segments with Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter. So, they can definitely tear the house down in a fantastic match in the tournament. So we'll have to wait and see there. All right. Tony Schiavone interviews AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. Of course, Hangman Page was supposed to be at Dynamite last week, but due to COVID protocol, he is not. He was unfortunately not able to attend last week's show. So that came in and had CM Punk cut a fantastic promo on Hangman Adam Page. But Tony Schiavone interviews Hangman Page, and Hangman states that it would be real easy to say how much he loves CM Punk. It'd be easy to look forward and to stand across in the ring from the best in the world. It'd be real easy to look forward to having a classic match for the AEW World Championship. But that's not going to happen because at Double or Nothing, there is not going to be a handshake or a Bret Hart tribute match. He is going to destroy CM Punk at Double or Nothing. And we get a bunch of CM Punk chants. He tells a fan wearing a Punk shirt that once he beats him, he will get a refund down in the concession stands. Then after that, or the stands, my bad, the t-shirt stands. Then after that, he says that he will get a refund. Then after that, he says, our beloved CM Punk is not here tonight. He says that if he was a betting man, he is off filming another TV show. But Punk, wherever he is going to embarrass him. He wants to fight, and he will fight, and it will be the fight of his life. Overall thoughts on this segment. This was a really good promo by Hangman Page. I definitely enjoyed the promo for what it was. Hangman, a lot of people were saying, oh my God, Hangman is turning heel. Yes, the promo did have some heel qualities to it, but it's not a heel turn for Hangman Page. Number one, I think that is a really stupid move to do, considering the fact that Hangman Page is super over right now with the crowd. He's like, you constantly hear cowboy shit whenever Hangman Page comes out. But again, this is not a heel turn. The reason why I say that is because of the fact that they're creating a babyface versus babyface dynamic, but they're creating a scenario in which it's, in a way they still respect each other, but they know that they're going to fight for the championship at the pay-per-view, so they're definitely taking shots at one another because they're going to fight for the ultimate prize, that being the AEW World Championship. So it made total sense for a guy like Adam Page to cut a promo like this. It made absolutely total sense in my opinion. It made total sense, 100%. And, definitely, I'm really looking forward to, CM Punk versus Hangman Page, 100%. How many times have I stated 100%? Oh, holy crap. That is like, that is like the 20th time that I stated 100%, probably the 21st. Like, bro, I got to stop at saying 100% constantly. But, after that, again, it's going to be a fantastic match. And I definitely do see CM Punk winning the AEW Championship at Double or Nothing. I think it's just the right time. I think you have to put the title on CM Punk, only for CM Punk a couple of months later to drop that belt to the one and only MJF, and it will pay off 100%. Again, I used 100%. I do not know why. I just love using that number, or percentage, I should say. All right. Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt, of course, they've been on a rampage, no pun intended. And, of course, they brought in Satnam Singh in the most botched format they could possibly debut somebody. Then they challenge Takeshi. I have no idea. It's this Japanese wrestler that they were hyping up. Forgive me, guys. I do not follow, New Japan. And I really haven't. I honestly, I don't think he's even part of New Japan. I think it was, what was he called? What was he part of? DDT, I think it's what it called. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Forgive me, seriously. I do not know who this guy is. I believe they did show footage of him wrestling at the house show that they had last year, WrestleMania weekend. It was called The House Always Wins. They did show him there. He did make a couple appearances for AEW, but I just do not remember. So I got to watch a couple of matches for there. So guys, forgive me. Chris Jericho versus Santana. This was another great match. I really enjoyed that. Really did not get talked about mainly because of the fact that we had Rey Fenix versus Dante Martin, which was a fantastic match. Chris Jericho versus Santana. This was a great match overall. I'm enjoying the feud between, the Jericho Appreciation Society and Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz. I think the feud is absolutely really good, and it's going to be leading to blood and guts in the near future. But I'll talk about that later on after I get through with the match. Santana immediately goes for a suicide dive on Chris Jericho. Both fight it out. Santana goes for a chop. Then he sends Jericho to the guardrail. Jericho then regains control. He takes the camera. Then Santana flips him off while Jericho has the camera with him. Then he proceeds to chop Jericho. We get a boot by Santana on Jericho. Then he hits Jericho face first onto the steel steps. Both get back in the ring. The bell rings. Then Matt Menard, or Matt Lee, whatever the hell you want to call him, grabs the boot of Santana. Santana's on the apron. Then Jericho hits a springboard dropkick, landing Santana onto the steel steps. Once we're back from commercial break, Jericho's on the chop. He tries to hit a crossbody, but then Santana takes Jericho out. We get a couple of chops by Jericho into the corner. Santana then fights back. Then Jericho tries to go for a bulldog, but then he lands into the corner onto the middle turnbuckle. I think it was the middle turnbuckle, I believe, in which he landed on. But then Santana fights back. He hits multiple clotheslines. Then he hits the Three Amigos on Chris Jericho. Again, nice little tribute to Eddie Guerrero right there. Santana goes to the top, but then Jericho comes up. We get a headbutt by Santana. Then he proceeds to hit the frog splash. He picks up Jericho, but then Jericho rolls him up for the Lion Tamer, a.k.a. the Walls of Jericho. Santana goes to the bottom rope. Then Santana applies an inside cradle pin attempt. We get a near fall. We get a chop by Santana. Both then proceed to exchange chops after that. We get a rolling stunner by Santana. We get a cover and a near fall. Then 2.0 try to interfere. Santana then out of nowhere hits a beautiful discus lariat after that. We get a cover and another near fall. Then we get a cannonball into the corner on Jericho by Santana. Then 2.0 proceed to interfere once again. And then while they were distracting the referee, what the hell does a heel do? What the hell did Jericho do? He does what a heel does, and he hits the one and only low blow without the referee looking. And then he hits his one and only Judas effect. 1, 2, 3. Jericho wins the match, and the JAS after the match attack Santana and Ortiz. Of course, Eddie Kingston is not here, considering the fact that Jericho blew a fireball last week on Dynamite, so he's not here this week. But overall, I thought the match between Jericho and Santana was fantastic. I thought it was great for what it was, and I'm definitely looking forward to what they do in this feud in the near future. I definitely do see blood and guts happening, mainly because of the fact that, you know, you got two factions feuding. It makes total sense for them to have blood and guts. Now, I state this before on previous Dynamite reviews. You know, we got 5-on-3. Who are the other two members? You bring in Homicide and you bring in Hernandez. You got LAX coming in 100%. It's going to be a badass match. Samoa Joe cuts a backstage promo on Jay Lethal, asks if he is a brave man, and says that this Friday on Rampage, he is coming for him. All right. Then the Gun Club give the Acclaimed a couple of gifts and their scissors, which I do not even want to talk about, mainly because of the fact that nobody cared about this segment. I didn't care for it, to be quite honest with you. Here's one segment that I really want to talk about. We have the Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart. Now, for the past couple of months, we had Julia Hart, being somewhat strange to the Varsity Blondes. And honestly, it kind of went nowhere, especially with the House of Black. I'm going to be honest. The House of Black has not really piqued my interest for the past couple of weeks, mainly because of the fact that they're barely on television. All we see for most weeks, in these recent weeks on AEW TV, is just like less than 30-second video packages of the House of Black. Let's be honest. But they talk about Julia Hart and says a quote from his father's best friend, Josh Harbour, who was the coach, I believe, of Brian Pillman Jr.'s father, the late great loose cannon Brian Pillman. Then, attack each day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. He talks about how he got comfortable and complacent. Talks about how they lost their enthusiasm, and that's when the House of Black tore them apart. Calls out the House of Black. The House then comes out, and then they surround the Varsity Blondes. I'm sorry, the Hollywood Blondes. The House then continues to attack the Blondes. Julia standing into the corner. Then King hits a cannonball into the corner on Garrison. Then Black faces off with Julia Hart, and this is where things get interesting. So the House of Black surrounds Julia Hart, right? So the House of Black surrounds Julia Hart, and they gave her a chair to hit on Garrison. So they wanted Julia Hart to hit the chair on Garrison. It looked like Julia Hart was definitely debating on oh my God, what should I do? What should I do? Oh my God, I'm surrounded. I don't know what to do, all that stuff. And one thing to notice is, I definitely, I didn't really care what the hell was going to happen. I was just wondering what was going to happen. but I didn't care what was going to happen if that is a dynamic that makes any sense. But Julie Hart hitting Griff Garrison, I mean, like, bro, the way that this was executed, I actually really loved. So the thing about it is when Julie was about to hit Garrison, usually when a wrestler hits somebody else with a chair, it's on the safe side, which is like, the main part of the seat where you sit on. But no, she had the chair the other way around. So I was like, wait, she has the chair the other way around. So that's definitely noticeable, and it's completely unsafe. But she does not hit Garrison, and then Black gets pissed and then takes off her eye patch, and then Death Triangle come in for the save. So overall thoughts on this segment, this was definitely a really, really good segment in my opinion. Now all we need to do is have the House of Black be more prevalent on AEW television, because we haven't really seen that so far yet. Let's be honest with ourselves. Jade Cargill and the baddies backstage. Red Velvet talks about her wanting to win the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Do I see her winning it? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see in the near future. The match that was really fantastic that I really enjoyed. Dante Martin taking on Rey Fenix, man. And when I tell you that this match was amazing, this match was definitely amazing. I absolutely loved this match. Both guys are high flyers, of course, so instantly, since they're high flyers, they're going to have fantastic chemistry in the ring. But, like, the fact that, we had a lot of, the fact that this match went long the way it did. Now, granted, it didn't go, like, extremely, extremely long, but, like, it was a pretty good match for what it was. But I'm going to be talking about the match. Both lock up. Dante pushes Fenix. We get a dropkick by Fenix, sending Dante to the outside. Then after that, Fenix hits a crossbody on the outside. Once we're back from commercial break, we get a springboard spinning kick by Rey Fenix after that. Then Dante Martin gets taken to the top rope, and Fenix hits a springboard Spanish fly. Yes, it was a reverse Spanish fly that was from the middle rope, which looked amazing. Man, Dante is one insane dude. At first, when I saw that move, I didn't really pay attention, so I immediately thought it was a Russian leg sweep. But, like, no, it was a Spanish fly-like move. The only difference was Rey Fenix was actually in the opposite corner. Usually, when it comes to a Spanish fly, both wrestlers are facing one another. But no, in this case, the Spanish fly, both wrestlers were actually facing the same way. So we get a cover and a near fall. Dante then plants him face first to the mat. We get a boot by Dante after that. We get an enziguri by Dante. Rey is on the top. Dante goes for a kick, sending Fenix down. We get a flying crossbody off the top by Dante. Then Dante takes Fenix down. We get a cover and a near fall. We get a Hurricane Rana by Fenix. We get a cover and another kick out. Then we get a kick to the chest of Fenix. Fenix then goes for a high kick, but then he goes for a pump-up cutter, which looked amazing. Dude, Rey Fenix, man, is fantastic, man. This guy knows how to, of course he knows how to wrestle, but, like, bro, Rey Fenix... I don't want to make that comparison, but, like, bro, he is our modern-day Rey Mysterio. Do not at me. I don't care, man. Rey Fenix is fantastic. But Rey Fenix after that, after he goes for the pump-up cutter, we get a cover and a near fall. Dante then gets taken to the top. Fenix then tries to go for a backfire driver, but then Dante counters into a roll-up. Then we get a near fall. Then Dante goes for a couple of offense. He goes to the top. Fenix comes in. Fenix then goes for a reverse Spanish fly once again. Or I should say, Fenix is now the one that hits the Spanish fly on Dante Martin. But then after that, both stand on their feet. Dante out of nowhere hits the Poison Rana, which is a reverse Hurricane Rana. Then after that, Dante misses the nosedive. Fenix counters, and he plants Dante to the mat. We get a cover. 1, 2, 3, and Rey Fenix qualifies in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Overall, this was definitely the best match of the entire night, in my opinion. This was a fantastic match. I absolutely enjoyed what I watched. It was a great match. Both had fantastic chemistry, and not only that, the spots in this match were absolutely insane. Speaking of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, we got the brackets. The brackets are finally revealed for the tournament. It's going to be an 8-man tournament. I expected this tournament to be much larger, but it's not going to be 16 men. It's actually going to be an 8-man tournament. So we're going to be looking at the brackets here. And if you really look at the brackets right here, honestly, the possibilities are endless. We got Rey Fenix taking on Kyle O'Reilly in the first round. Samoa Joe versus a mystery opponent. We got Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. And Adam Cole versus Dax Harwood. So again, out of all of these people that could possibly win this match, four guys have the possibility of winning this tournament. Number 1, Samoa Joe. It all depends who the Joker is. The reason why I say it all depends who the Joker is because of the fact that we do not know who the Joker is. A lot of people are speculating it's somebody like Johnny Gargano. It's speculating, a lot of people are speculating guys like, Claudio, a.k.a. Cesaro, which I feel like Claudio is the most logical choice in this case, mainly because of the fact that, now, Cesaro is no longer wrestling for WWE. So, and he didn't renew his contract, so he does not have a 90-day non-compete clause. So again, I feel like the Joker in this is definitely Claudio, and honestly, that is huge for them. Mainly because, I would love to see a match between him and Samoa Joe. Now, I'm gonna bring this into the discussion. Now, if Claudio is going to be facing Samoa Joe, since this is Claudio's first match in AEW, should Claudio win or lose? I honestly think, when it comes to wrestling, just because you lose doesn't mean you're instantly buried. It has to be really bad booking for that. But in my opinion, Claudio is just that damn good. He's going to have a fantastic match against Samoa Joe if Claudio is the Joker. And if Claudio is the Joker, it'd be a banger of a match. I'd have Samoa Joe actually go to the semifinals. And which, if Joe goes to the semifinals, then we possibly get a match because Kyle O'Reilly is going to be facing in the first round as well. I definitely do see somebody like Kyle O'Reilly advancing. And, we got Kyle O'Reilly versus Samoa Joe. That is another dream match right there that I would love to see. But we'll have to wait and see while the tournament goes on. When it comes to Adam Cole and Dax Harwood, Adam Cole is definitely beating Dax Harwood, even though we know Dax Harwood is a big fan of Owen Hart. So I definitely do see Adam Cole advancing. Adam Cole would advance. In the other brackets, let me actually pop this up once again, actually. So we got Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. Out of both guys, I see Darby Allin winning. It makes total sense. And then we got Adam Cole versus Darby Allin, and I see Adam Cole actually getting the win. And then in the finals, we got Joe versus Cole. And then Samoa Joe basically wins the tournament, and in which we would get Joe versus CM Punk, mainly because of the fact that if whoever wins this tournament needs to win a title shot. That's what they need. They need to win a title shot at the next pay-per-view, in which we should get Samoa Joe versus CM Punk. Please take my money. But that is just me making assumptions. But overall, the card, the bracket is definitely looking really good. Granted, it's an 8-man tournament. I wish it was a little larger, but still, 8 men is fine. And not only that, the possibilities are definitely endless when it comes to the brackets and the wrestlers who are possibly going to win this tournament. All right. We get a segment with Thunder Rosa. So she cuts a promo. She says that everybody has a story to tell. It's full of good guys and bad guys. She starts with the success of her story. She stands as the undisputed women's champion. She fought hard to defend the title in Texas. And when she came to AEW, she just wanted to elevate women's wrestling. She carried a heavyweight with hard work, and she was able to become what she is today. She is, the mera mera of this division, as Thunder Rosa would say, and she is the top competitor. As the best, she wants to wrestle the best. And then she brings her another story. She tells us another story. Before she was Thunder Rosa, she drove all around California to see one wrestler, and then calls out the number one contender. And who is that number one contender? The number one contender is the one and only Serena Deeb. Yes, Serena Deeb comes out, and she talks about how she respects Rosa, but she believes that they can make this women's division the best women's division in the world. In order for that to happen, the best wrestler needs to be champion, and Serena states that she is on another level. She's in a class of her own, and it's about time that she has the championship to show that. Places a bet, and it's official. At Double or Nothing, we're going to be getting Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's World Championship. That is going to be a fantastic match. Now, I, for one, I love the fact that Thunder Rosa is the women's champion, but my biggest problem with their title reign is the fact that, first off, her first opponent was Nyla Rose. It's a common trend. Every time when a woman wins the women's championship in AEW, their first opponent is Nyla Rose. Nothing against Nyla Rose. I'm just telling the God's honest truth. The match that she had with Nyla Rose at Battle of the Belts, I thought it was fine, but let's be honest. I mean, Thunder Rosa could definitely get some more important opponents. And definitely, this match that she's going to have with Serena Deeb is going to be absolutely fantastic. I definitely do see this match possibly stealing the show, in my opinion, mainly because it's freaking Serena Deeb and it's Thunder Rosa. these women are capable of having their own like whole program with one another, in my opinion. But overall, I'm definitely excited to see Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa at Double or Nothing. CM Punk versus John Silver is going to be official next week. Of course, Dynamite is going to be taking place in Long Island, in which we will also be getting the contract signing between MJF and Wardlow in MJF's hometown. Yo, man, you love to see it. All right. In the main event, we got Mercades Martinez taking on Deonna Purrazzo. Both women are the Ring of Honor Women's Champion. And this is for the Undisputed Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So this is a unification match, of course. Mercades Martinez was the interim champion, beating Willow Nightingale at Supercard of Honor. But overall, what are my thoughts on this match? Nothing against both women, but like this match was absolutely completely slow. Really, a really slow match. I definitely saw Mercades Martinez winning this match mainly because of the fact that Deonna Purrazzo is not currently signed to AEW, so I do not see her winning, the Undisputed Ring of Honor ROH Women's Champion, and it made total sense for Mercades Martinez to do that. But overall, this match was really slow. To be quite honest with you, the crowd is just absolutely dead during this match. Deonna does not apply the Code of Honor, which is a tradition in any Ring of Honor match. Of course, before the match starts, you're supposed to shake the hand of your opponent. Deonna Purrazzo does not do that. Both lock up. We get a side headlock by Deonna. Both then lock up again. Mercades Martinez goes for a chop. Both go head-to-head. Deonna then hits a kick to the arm of Mercades. Once we're back from break, both get back in the ring. We get a headbutt by Deonna. Then both exchange shots. We get a clothesline by Mercades Martinez. We get a side backdrop by Mercades. We get a running right by Mercades, and we get a running boot by Mercades after that. Then we get a running jumping boot by Mercades after that as well. We get a standing moonsault by Deonna. We get a sunset flip by Deonna. Mercades then hits the running knee. Then she hits a fisherman buster. We get a cover and a near fall. We get a back elbow by Deonna. Then Deonna plants her to the mat. We get a cover and a near fall. We get a jackknife pin by Mercades Martinez, but then Mercades goes for the roll-up once again. We get a near fall. Both then hit a double clothesline on one another. Then after that, Mercades goes for a right. She picks up Deonna. She proceeds to drop Deonna to the mat. And then she hits the curve stomp, and then applies the Romero special, and then she transitions that submission into the Dragon Sleeper, in which Deonna Purrazzo taps out, and Mercades Martinez is your new Ring of Honor Women's Champion. Overall, again, this match really wasn't that good. Not just because of the fact that it really wasn't that good. It was because of the fact that this match barely, and I mean this, barely did not have any build at all. The only build that I saw for this particular match was a really short video package that aired on Rampage this past Friday. That's all. Nothing else. So, it's great to see. I mean, I like Deonna, but like, let's be honest, like the match really wasn't that good, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, that was my AEW Dynamite review. Overall, I really, for what it was, the show wasn't, it wasn't bad at all. In my opinion, I've seen much better Dynamites, but the show wasn't bad at all. It was a good episode. I wouldn't necessarily say it was an amazing or, just a flat out, just stupendous show. It definitely did have its flaws, but overall, out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, that kind of makes no sense, but overall, I thought that the show definitely delivered as a whole. But yeah, that was my AEW Dynamite review. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, push that bell for notifications, and be on the lookout for more videos right here on the Broken Havoc podcast. I will be uploading my Raw review tomorrow as well. Plus, I will be discussing, on that same video, I will be discussing my WrestleMania Backlash 2022 predictions. Yes, we got a pay-per-view this weekend, that being WrestleMania Backlash, and I'm going to be giving you guys my reaction that will be uploaded alongside the Raw review. Actually, both of them will be in the same video. So yeah, make sure to watch those videos tomorrow, and as always, it is Broken Havoc, signing out.